The LTFRB may be reopening more routes in time for school opening next week, but a transport group fears there are not enough public utility vehicles to ply these routes and meet the demand when classes start. One of the reasons, a number of franchises under the reopened routes have already expired. And we now talk to Metro Manila Development Authority. Joining us is Task Force Special Operations Chief Bong Nebrija. Good morning, Colonel Bong. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Ria.
Now, the LTFRB is saying that the 133 reopened PUV routes is equivalent to about 11,000 additional PUVs on non-EDSA roads on Monday. Can smaller roads like Quezon Avenue, España, and Taft Avenue carry this volume without creating traffic jams?
Actually, Ria, that is something that we have already tackled with with LTFRB before, even before, after the SONA, because we have noticed during our clearing operations that there were really not enough public utility vehicles flying the routes of schools that used to have, for example, PUJs. So now, yes, they will reopen, and that's the reason why we've been clearing roads so that we could accommodate the transitioning in of these routes again to the roads leading to the schools, or particularly the university belt.
Right. Now, as mentioned in our report earlier, operators must secure a special permit first from the LTFRB in order for them to be allowed to ply these reopened routes. Now, on your part, on the part of the MMDA, how are you going to monitor if these PUVs actually have those special permits?
Yes, that will be a challenge, Ria, really, because 11,000 is not a small number. And, we also have our plates full right now with the opening of classes. We will be deploying our enforcers, more particularly to the school zones, to help out in the management of traffic and, of course, for the safety of the students.
So, Colonel, how will you go about the apprehension process? Like you said, you might be undermanned for it, but if ever you do, won't that apprehension cause traffic when enforcers apprehend PUVs? How do you plan to manage that?
That's true, Ria. And, we would like to intensify our non-contact apprehension, but these administrative violations like applying the routes without proper permit or franchise, that will be really a challenge. And this is something that we need to look into and partner with other enforcement agencies so that we could really implement and enforce this new policy.
Colonel, what will happen if drivers are caught plying these routes without special permits? Warning ba lang muna or may penalty na agad?
Well, LTFRB needs to tell us whether we will implement it as a out of line for one, or colorum operations. Because if you are operating without a permit or a franchise, then you are a colorum. So these administrative cases is more complicated than ordinary traffic violations, and they need to go through legal processes. And that's the thing. If they're flying out of route or they're flying without franchise, then this is a legal process. This is an administrative case.
Right. Colonel, yesterday nagsimula ng apprehensions for those violating the morning number coding hours, which was reimposed on Monday. Ilan ang nahuli or nabigyan ng ticket as of yesterday?
Well, Ma'am Ria, mas marami nung umaga, no? We averaged 516, nung umaga na apprehension. In the afternoon, it was 20% lesser. It was only around 103. So, in total of 619 for the first day of the full implementation of the expanded number coding hours.
All right, on to a slightly different topic. Colonel, earlier this week, also we saw the MMDA clearing the sidewalks of illegally parked vehicles. I know you were very busy with that, especially in the University Belt area. Did the Manila City government already act on these bike lanes that were converted into paid parking?
Ma'am, actually, on the same day of that operation, when we found out about this bike lanes being converted into a paid parking area, the Vice Mayor of Manila and I already talked informally about this, and he committed that we will be having a meeting, a conference with all the stakeholders together with their Manila Traffic and Parking Bureau, so that we could settle all this traffic dilemma that we're having on the road. Wherein we want to implement the national law, but there are local ordinances that is in conflict with it, and we do not want to step on their authority to create their own local ordinances. So that's why we are bringing this. We are bringing this problem to them, and the Vice Mayor of Manila, City of Manila, committed that we will sit down and talk about this and probably settle and find a solution to this.
That said, Colonel, will the clearing operations continue over the weekend in preparation, of course, for the opening of classes on Monday?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, even this weekend, we will be having our clearing operations. We've been doing this since after SONA. And on my tally, we have already cleared almost 60 schools of the 146 schools in Metro Manila.
All right, and before I let you go, Colonel Bong, how many MMDA personnel will be deployed on Monday? That's the opening of classes, going to be very busy.
Yes, aside from the regular deployment that we have on the major thoroughfares of Metro Manila, we will be deploying 581 personnel in the school zones of 146 public schools in Metro Manila. So this personnel will be managing the traffic, making sure that pedestrian lanes are not blocked, and the kids crossing will be safe, and that all the yellow boxes will be clear to avoid the congestion in the area where the kids will be dropped off and picked up.
All right, Colonel, ilan ang expected volume of vehicles for Monday?
Well, Ma'am Ria, you will be surprised because our pre-pandemic volume was just for 105,000 and on EDSA. And our projection shows that it will be around 436,000. So we know that if EDSA is congested with that kind of volume, it will be translated that it will also be congested in the arterial routes.
Right. Okay. So looks like a very busy Monday for you next week. Colonel, thank you once again for joining us. That was MMDA Task Force Special Operations Chief Bong Nebrija.